Hello and welcome to the June edition of 71 Magazine. I'm your host, John Bryant, and we'd like to first thank OMU for underwriting this segment. Well, it's summertime, the temperatures are rising, and so is your electric bill due to the air conditioning that we're using this year. So if you're looking to cool down that OMU bill, Sonia Dixon with OMU is here. Let me start this over.
You okay? Bless your heart. I kept thinking, how's he still talking? Oh.
Okay. Hello and welcome to the June edition of 71 Magazine. I'm your host, John Bryant, and first we'd like to thank OMU for underwriting our segment. Well, it's summertime, temperatures are rising, and so are our electric bills due to the air conditioning that we're using. Well, if you're looking to cool down that OMU bill, Sonia Dixon, who is a communications and PR manager with OMU, is here to give you some billing options. Sonia, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And it is true, this time of the year, our OMU bills due to electricity are a little bit higher.
You know, it always, I think it kind of surprises people because you usually have milder ones in the spring and in the fall. But when the heat comes, we have to turn that air on, and when you're turning your air on, you're using more power.
Right.
So unfortunately, those summertime bills are higher.
They are. Well, listen, OMU offers some great billing options. Automatic, levelized, budget, and budget billing. But let's begin with automatic.
You know, and I love the automatic option. What's wonderful about that is you can have it automatically withdrawn through your checking account or on a credit card, and you can pick the day. You know, for instance, if you want to hit a certain pay period, or you feel more comfortable paying bills at the end of the month or whatever, so you can select a day that's going to be taken out, so you're able to plan that a little more easily.
Now, does OMU actually send you a bill?
You always get a bill.
Okay.
You're always going to get a paper bill, and what's nice about that is you do know. That way you're able to track it, you do have it, and of course, you can always visit our website if you ever want to go back and look at your previous billing and your previous usage.
Okay, so can I actually go back at omu.org and actually look at the history of my billing?
You can.
Oh.
You can.
Okay.
I don't recall how far back you can go, but I think it's within maybe a year or 13 months. So it's really nice to be able to look at that, especially if you've made a change in your home, you've updated your air conditioning system, or you've put new windows in or anything like that. You can look at your usage versus your billing.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at levelized billing and how that works.
Well, you know, levelized and budget billing are very similar. Levelized is kind of a rolling average, so it does fluctuate a little bit each month. And you would need to talk to our customer service group to find out how that would most work with your account.
Okay.
Budget billing is actually for a full year, and then it trues up at that 13th month.
Okay.
So, but what's nice about that is you always know what that amount's going to be. And if you couple that with one of the automatic payment options, you know, okay, it's going to be this amount and it's coming out on this date.
Right.
And I think that's just a wonderful way. It's always nice to know that your bill's not, as we mentioned, lots of times in the summer your bill is higher because you're using a lot more energy, a lot more electricity. So it's nice to be able to kind of literally budget that out and know what it's going to be.
Okay, so as far as you said, one of them you have to shore up at the end of the year. Now, is that a one-time payment that's made?
It can depend upon how much we're truing up that account. But certainly our customer service staff is great about saying, hey, this levelized is a good option for you, or this budget is a good option for you.
Now, is it true that you have to somewhat qualify to get budget billing or levelized?
I think you do have to have a certain payment history with us.
Okay.
But certainly, you know, customer service can work through that with you and talk you through that. I think what's most fascinating is they can literally say, when you're talking to them on the phone, this is what you would be paying a month for X number of months. And I mean, how much easier is that to know? I'm going to be able to budget this out and plan. It helps you in planning.
Okay, so really, and now let's shift a little bit. Let's say somebody's renting. Okay, now they wouldn't be able to move into a place and suddenly want to do a levelized billing.
Well, we don't have that history of their account. You would have to talk to the customer service staff. Again, I keep referring them there because there are ways that they can work out some of those hurdles. But certainly they can talk to you about that. They could maybe look at the history of usage at that location. There are some things they can do. But imagine as a renter also being able to time that with your rent, and you know, or if you're paying a mortgage, you know, or however you want to work that. It's a great way to just plan.
Yeah. Well, with the increase in billing, with the increase in the costs and so forth, hypothetically, let's say somebody knows in advance that they're going to have a little trouble paying their bill this month. What does OMU offer them?
We certainly understand that. We know that everyone has a lot of obligations when it comes to their budget. So the best thing to do is, if you're going to have an issue, if you think there's an issue with your bill, is call us immediately. Don't wait until you're in the rears. Don't wait until you're so far along the payment system that it's difficult for us to help make arrangements, because those amounts increase. You have one bill, and then you have 2 months bill, and you have some late fees and some things like that. So call us immediately, say this is this is the issue I'm having, and let us try to work through that with you. And then also, it helps us to keep your payment history positive, which is really important for if you're signing up for other utilities or if you're doing things like that.
Right.
So letting us know and letting us help you right up front is so important.
Okay. Well, Sonny, let me ask you this. Maybe an unfair question.
Okay.
How's the water treatment plant coming?
It's going very well.
Okay.
It's going very, very well. And every time I ask and I go out there, it's on time and on budget.
Yeah.
And what's really exciting about that is that the plant was built, the Cabin plant was built over 25 years ago, but they built it in a way that it could be expanded to 40 million gallons. Now, we're only expanding it to 30 million gallons because that's our need. But just, what you see out there, you think you see just that little brick building,
right,
but it actually goes down three additional stories. And some of the piping is already available, some of that. So there's a lot of excavating going on and a lot of that sort of thing. But it's very, very exciting. We're updating the technology, we're updating the treatment systems. We're really making some big changes out there, and what's wonderful about that is it's long term. Yeah. We've talked about some issues that we've had with Plant A, which is the older plant near Davis County Middle School. But we're kind of in the whole other direction there. We're looking, okay, that's old infrastructure. We need to leave that and continue with our state of the art. The Cabin plant is an exceptional plant in and of itself,
yes,
but expanding it gives us the opportunity to make it even better, make it more efficient, all of those things. So it's very exciting to see that kind of a project go on in our community.
And I know because of that initial planning that many years ago, there was a lot of money that was saved.
There was a lot of money, because if you think about it, some of the concrete work was done.
Yeah.
It's interesting because some of the pipes literally just end, but they were put there because putting that piping in then made sense. We have high service pumps, and the pads are already there, and the building is built in a way where it has a crane in that can come and put those high service pumps in.
Wow.
So you're not having to retrofit. So there's a lot of savings in there. Also, the decision to put it where it is and the land that's available, because we do have clarifiers and those sorts of things that need to be outside the plant. Right. And then additional storage. There's going to be room for additional storage. So it's fascinating to me how this plant all these years ago, they were able to make those decisions and plan well.
And I think I like it that they're doing it simply because we got great water anyhow.
We do, don't we?
So this is going to expand and make things more, efficient for you all,
right,
and expand your capacity, which is what you need.
Well, exactly. And what's interesting is they talk about it's being constructed in trains, and there are 3 of those. And so if you need to do maintenance on one train, you're able to take that down and work on it and bring it back up. So there's a certain efficiency to that. As we all know, Plant A, we've been having some issues with the shifting of that building. We had some breaks in that area. I'm not sure what that was associated with. May have been with the shifting of the building, and that's not uncommon for a lot of water utilities across the nation. A lot of that infrastructure, that aging infrastructure, was put in at the same time. So we were able to both update our infrastructure and then also get away from some of the hazard that we had there and the threat that we had there. So it's very exciting to see a project like this come into play.
Well, and it's interesting because really across the United States we have an infrastructure issue.
We do.
Things are aging. I'm not talking about just water lines,
Sure.
but you're talking about bridges and railways and things of that nature that, as far as that goes. So I think it's proactive that OMU is really taking advantage of this situation. Listen, there was a problem, but you guys addressed it, and even 25 years ago, it was a smart move.
We had been, we had been talking about the expansion for a long time, and I just think that the water main break solidified that decision. I think it literally just kind of came together, and so we're very fortunate. Plan A has served us well. I would challenge anybody to would have equipment that was still operational at that age. We had been able to maintain it, but it was time. It was time, and then there's so much new technology about there. The filtering is different, but it really is fascinating to see. Somebody, and initially they didn't know that Plan A was shifting when they built Cabin. They just wanted to have some additional capacity and then have some. The dual part where they could take one down and bring one up and for maintenance and that sort of thing. So it's really fascinating, and we have fantastic water. We have a great source. We have to do some treatment, but not a lot, which makes the water even better. But to know that we're going to still be able to provide you with quality water going forward is great news.
It is. Well, listen, one thing I want to talk about before we close out is something that we're talking about higher bills, okay, and this can be a strain on some people at this time of the year, as it could be in the wintertime when we have high temperature or low temperatures. Community Cares program really offers a lot of assistance.
Well, what's great about the Community Cares program is OMU actually makes a contribution to the Salvation Army. We have a great partnership with that organization, and they are able to disseminate those funds throughout the community to those who need them, who are OMU customers. So the OMU dollars are going to OMU customers. But what's wonderful about that is, as a member of the community, you can contribute as well. And when you can add those onto your bill, you can round up, you can make a one-time gift, you can do any of those things. And all of those funds, none of them are held for administrative use. They all are given to the Salvation Army, which does not charge administrative charges either. And they're able to add those into that and to help somebody, but also certainly you can designate funds. If you know someone, certainly you can't have access to their account or anything like that. That's private information. But if I know my neighbor's struggling and I want to help in some way, I can certainly help with their utility bill. And what a wonderful way to help. And you can even do that anonymously if you wanted to. And how wonderful to be able to help somebody with something they're going to have to pay. Not necessarily a luxury, but something that they need.
Well, and what's interesting is you could do the rounding up and guaranteed you won't spend any more than $12 a year.
That's exactly right. You're exactly right. I think the rounding up is a great way to do that. We do that with other things now. Sometimes when you'll shop, they'll say, do you want to round up to this? Do you want to do that? I just think it's a wonderful way to help with a necessity.
Yeah. Sonia, where can folks find additional information?
Always visit omu.org. I mentioned a lot earlier about calling our customer service group, and they are fantastic. And especially everyone's account's a little different, and so please call 270-926-3700 if you have a specific question. Make sure that they're going to walk you through that. They're going to know what your payment history is. They're going to do all of that. But I hope you'll follow us on Facebook.
Yes.
And I hope that, and Twitter also. But one of the easiest options to keep up with OMU news, particularly if you're interested in job postings or anything like that, but also if you're interested in just general news or outage information, is to sign up for our free texting option through omu.org. It's a great way to and we use it very judiciously. I know lots of times you sign up for texting and you're getting one every day. You're going to hear from us as we have important news to get to you. So
no, I actually am one of your texts. I signed up for the text.
Wonderful.
And it's fantastic. It's not overbearing. It gives me the great information when something is out, and then also what is even better is when it's been restored.
Right.
So that is great information.
It was an amazing tool for us during the water outages. It has been an amazing tool during power outages, because you're not having to keep going in and checking. Lots of times we're at work and the power could be out at our home, or the power has gone out at our home and we've gone somewhere else to get away. So just being able to check on that, and we try to give you as much information about restoration times and jobs. What's nice is you don't have to sign up for all of the categories. You can sign up for just things that you're interested in.
Okay. Well, Sonia, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning into this segment of 71 Magazine. On behalf of OMU and also OCTV, we hope you have a safe and enjoyable summer, and we'll see you right back here in July.